I'm Beau Johnson. It's December 23rd, 2025. Welcome to YesToHellWith.com. The report which describes ChatGPT's admission that the Liberty Dialogues is fundamentally true concerning jurisdiction is available for one more week on jamesbowersjohnson.com. Be sure to get it. I wrote The End of Justice while I was unjustly imprisoned, not accused, not awaiting trial, already convicted. Prison strips away illusions. It gives you time to observe the legal system not as it appears to the public, but as it actually functions. And what I came to understand is something most Americans never see, because they never have to. Most people trust the legal system for one of two reasons: ignorance or indifference. They assume injustice is rare. They assume courts correct themselves. They assume that if something went wrong, someone will intervene. That assumption is false. The average person walks past a courthouse and sees symbols, stone walls, robed judges, flags, seals. They don't see how decisions are made, or what is ignored, or how often truth loses, not to malice, but to convenience. That ignorance is not accidental, because if people truly understood how injustice occurs, the system could not continue to function as it does. People would intervene. While imprisoned, I stopped asking whether the law was right or wrong. I began asking a different question. How does injustice persist when so many people are involved? Because injustice is rarely the product of one corrupt judge or one rogue prosecutor. More often, it is produced by layers of compliance, each one small enough to feel harmless, each one justified as just doing my job. That is when I realized something essential. Justice does not fail in a single moment. Perhaps it does on occasion, but it fails across an entire process. Every case passes through human hands. Voters, lawmakers, investigators, prosecutors, defense attorneys, judges, jurors, grand jurors, witnesses, and even the press. Each actor plays a role, and when one of them abdicates responsibility, injustice advances. That realization gave birth to what I call the Four Corners of Justice diagram. The Four Corners of Justice is not a legal theory, it is a diagnostic tool. It exists to show the public what they are never shown, how ordinary people performing ordinary roles manufacture extraordinary injustice. The diagram maps the major actors in the justice system and asks a simple question of each. Did this person act with truth, restraint, and discernment? If not, justice moves further away. At the center of the diagram is what I call the zero line. The zero line represents neutrality, fairness, proportionality, and good faith. In a just system, no actor crosses left of that line, but case after case reveals the same pattern. Nearly everyone does. In the Four Corners of Justice diagram, every score matters. Any score to the left of the zero line is an indictment of the individual actor and of the system that allowed the failure to go uncorrected. Scores to the right are rare. When they appear, they reflect deliberate resistance to pressure in order to preserve fairness. Taken together, the scores tell the ultimate truth. Justice does not fail because of one bad actor. It fails when enough actors drift left of the zero line and no one intervenes. This is systemic failure. One of the most dangerous illusions people believe is that following procedure produces justice. It does not. Procedure can be followed perfectly and still destroy an innocent person. Justice requires intent to be examined. Harm must be real. Punishment must be proportional. When these questions are not asked, law becomes administration, and administration has no conscience. The four corners of justice diagram exist because the public must understand how injustice is made, not in secret rooms and not through grand conspiracies, but through silence, deference, and compliance. Anyone may use the diagram to map how and why innocent people are placed behind bars. That is its purpose. It does not belong to lawyers or judges. It belongs to the people. And it must, because we are the ultimate checks and balance of the entire process. As the electorate, as jurors, as grand jurors, as citizens who either engage or, unfortunately, look the other way. Why should we engage? Because we deserve better. Because complacency is a weapon most people never realize is being used against them. And because at times there are evil people within the legal system, people who know exactly what they are doing, who pursue power, reputation, or victory at the expense of the vulnerable. But the greater failure is this: the system does not stop them. It shields them. It excuses them. It normalizes their conduct as procedure and then calls it justice. And when others see this and remain silent, when judges defer, when lawyers comply, juries obey, and citizens look away, evil does not need to spread. It only needs permission. That is why understanding the four corners of justice diagram matters. Because when injustice is left unexamined, it becomes precedent. When evil goes uncorrected, it becomes policy. What has happened to thousands of innocent men and women is not an anomaly. It is a warning. And if we are unwilling to confront how injustice is made, we should not be surprised when one day it happens to us. And as always, may truth reign supreme.